75 years ago, a dream was set in motion. A vision to bring the brightest young minds together to push the boundaries of science and engineering. What started as a modest gathering of student innovators has transformed into the world's largest pre-college STEM competition.
Now Louisville plans to host yet another major event.
The International Science and Engineering Fair will bring students and teachers from all over the world.
A good old-fashioned science fair.
Through the years, ISEF has been the launch pad for future scientists, engineers, and visionaries. Nobel laureates, tech pioneers, and groundbreaking researchers once stood in the very same place as you are standing today, driven by the same passion to change the world. Today, we celebrate 75 years of discovery, innovation, and global impact here in Columbus, Ohio.
This is your community. You have found your people.
Do not merely inherit the future. Go forth boldly to create it.
Who will rise to the top? Who will make history? As we honor the legacy of 75 years, we set our sights on the discoveries that will define the next century.
Regeneron ISEF opening ceremony. And now your host for the week, please welcome Barb Baker.
Hello! Good evening, everyone! You all look gorgeous tonight. It is so good to see everybody here. And welcome to the opening ceremony of the 2025 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. I'm Barb Baker, and I am thrilled to be here with you this week. We have a great evening planned for you. But before we dive into tonight's program, let's give it up one more time for the Ohio State University Pep Band. Thanks for helping us kick things off. As a final reminder, Czech Republic, Kenya, and Vietnam, you still need to pick up your shout-out posters. They're waiting for you over there. I feel like I just called somebody out. We have come together this week to celebrate the world's best and brightest young scientists and engineers, and to provide a global stage for showcasing your extraordinary STEM research projects. Celebrating its 75th year, the International Science and Engineering Fair is a program of Society for Science and is the world's largest science competition for high school students. Through a global network of local, regional, and national science fairs, millions of students around the world are encouraged to explore their passion for scientific inquiry. But only a small fraction ultimately qualify for Regeneron ISEF, and that is you, the 2025 Regeneron ISEF finalists. Congratulations to each of you for the amazing accomplishments of making it here tonight. Nice job. This week, you'll have the opportunity to network and learn from your fellow finalists, the ISEF community of sponsors and supporting organizations, STEM professionals, ISEF alumni, dedicated judges, and the incredible group of volunteers who helped make this week possible. And I think now is a great time to meet someone devoted to ensuring all of these opportunities are available to you. Maya Ajmera is the president and CEO of Society for Science, an executive publisher of Science News. Prior to leading the Society, Maya founded and led for 18 years the Global Fund for Children, which has invested over $70 million in innovative grassroots organizations serving vulnerable children and youth around the world, touching the lives of more than 10 million young people. She is a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, an award-winning children's book author with over 20 titles, and has held several academic appointments at Duke University and Johns Hopkins University. Let's hear it for Maya Ajmera.
Thank you, Barb, and welcome everyone to the 2025 Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. I am honored to represent Society for Science. The Society is best known for our award-winning journalism in Science News and Science News Explores, our suite of STEM outreach programs, and our world-class science research competitions, the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge, the Regeneron Science Talent Search, and the reason we are here this week, the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. Yeah, let's do it. I am particularly excited for ISEF this year because it is our 75th anniversary. The Society founded the International Science and Engineering Fair as the National Science Fair in 1950. At that fair, 30 exceptional young finalists selected at regional science fairs from across the United States competed for acclaim and prizes. 8 years later, the competition would go international, welcoming students from Japan, Germany, and Canada. In 1997, Intel became the competition's first title sponsor, and in 2020, Regeneron became the title sponsor. Over the last 75 years, there have been extraordinary scientific and technological advances. The world today is drastically different from 1950, and I am proud that ISEF and our finalists have played a part in that rapid innovation. Take, for example, Mary Jean Creek from Washington, D.C. Mary competed 3 times from 1952 to 1954. After high school, she studied at Wellesley College and Columbia University, eventually becoming a pioneering neurobiologist and physician. Today, she is best known for her life-saving research and the development of methadone therapy. Yeah. Fast forward to ISEF 1997, held in Louisville, Kentucky. David Schlesinger from Brazil was a finalist that year. He would later earn both a medical and a PhD from the Universidad de São Paulo. Today, he is CEO of Mendelix, the largest clinical genomics lab in Latin America and the first Brazilian laboratory that specializes in genetic diagnosis tests for rare diseases and cancer. And in 2014, ISEF went to Los Angeles, California. 17-year-old Taipelo Natite was one of 12 finalists from South Africa that year, competing in the computer science category. He would soon take that passion to the next level and founded Botele AI, a tech company that uses artificial intelligence to break down language barriers in Africa. There are thousands and thousands of more examples. And of course, there's you. The young scientists and engineers we are celebrating this week who are using their ingenuity to solve the world's most intractable problems. The core of science is ethics and integrity. At Society for Science, this is one of our core values, and we expect each and every one of you to uphold the value of scientific integrity. Again, it is central to the credibility, reliability, and progress of science. The students here might come from different countries, speak different languages, do research in different fields, but among the faces around you are people who care about science. The brain power in this room is simply astonishing. In short, you have found your people. So one day, someone here might be your collaborator, business partner, or lifelong friend. This week, I want you to take full advantage of the opportunities afforded to you only at ISEF. From last night's Pin Exchange, sponsored by the Adam R. Scripps Foundation, the Excellence in Science and Technology panel presented by Aramco, the Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Impact panel presented by HP, and the Estimathon, a really cool exercise of trivia, game theory, and mathematics brought to us by Jane Street. On Wednesday night, the Student Mixer, sponsored by The Ohio State University, will be a blast. And on Thursday, you will get a chance to meet some students from Ohio at Intel Education Outreach Day. Barb will give you all the details later in the show. This will be one of the best weeks of your lives. Now, I'd like to take a moment to thank Regeneron for being the title sponsor of ISEF. Yeah, let's give them a big round of applause, folks. Not only have they been sponsoring ISEF since 2020, but they extended their commitment for another 5 years starting this year, investing in young scientists and engineers throughout the world. I'd also like to thank our amazing sponsors whose support makes this week possible. And we cannot forget the judges and volunteers who've been working diligently to ensure that every detail of Regeneron ISEF results in an unforgettable week. Let us give big thanks to our judges, our interpreters, our volunteers, and our local arrangements committee led by the Ohio Academy of Sciences. Finalists, you have a big week ahead of you. Take advantage of all that Regeneron ISEF has to offer. Thank you, good luck, and have a fabulous week.
Hi. Thank you, Maya, and thanks to Society for Science for everything you do in support of these incredible finalists. Next, I'd like to introduce another special guest. We are honored to welcome the co-founder, board co-chair, president, and chief scientific officer of our title sponsor, Regeneron, Dr. George Yancopoulos. Regeneron is a leading biotechnology company that invents and develops life-transforming medicines for people with serious diseases, and is on the front lines developing treatments for eye disease, allergic and inflammatory disease, cancer, and many other conditions. Regeneron is deeply invested in fostering the next generation of STEM talent to continue this legacy of scientific innovation and impact. Through their commitment to equity and science education, they support numerous programs ensuring as many talented kids as possible and their teachers have the resources necessary to pursue their passions for science. George is a member of the National Academy of Sciences and has served as Regeneron's lead inventor and drug developer since the company's inception over 35 years ago. Along with his team, he has invented 14 medicines approved in the US or other countries, as well as the underlying foundational technologies leading to these medicines. He has been pivotal in creating the science-driven culture at Regeneron, earning the company widespread recognition. Please welcome to the ISEF stage, Dr. George Yancopoulos.
Hey, everybody. It's great to be here celebrating with all of you, our Regeneron ISEF finalists. You guys are the young scientists, engineers, inventors from around the world who represent the brightest minds of the next generation and who share the desire and the drive to use the power of science to solve the many challenges the world faces. People often ask me why Regeneron invests so much in you, the next generation. Almost $200 million to support STEM programs, much of it in partnership with Society for Science to support ISEF and the Regeneron Science Talent Search. For me, the answer is very personal. I myself am a product of exactly these programs, and I know how they can inspire young people like you. My story begins in New York City, growing up in an immigrant family, with my parents leaving their homeland of Greece because of war, without money or education, but with a belief in hard work and making a better life for their children. And like in many immigrant families with both parents working, my main caretaker was my grandmother, or Yaya, who never spoke a word of English. I was 13 when my beloved Yaya was struck by Alzheimer's. I was devastated, but that's when I turned to science. I found teachers and mentors who helped me, and I started a high school science project on regenerating neurons to try to help my Yaya. My co-founder at Regeneron, Len Schleifer, has a very similar story and motivation to regenerate neurons so as to also help a loved one in his family. In case you didn't know it, Regeneron stands for Regenerating Neurons. So in a way, I'm still working on my high school science project. And think about it. In an incredible full-circle story, Regeneron now sponsors the very programs that helped inspire its founders. And now, our hope is to help inspire you, the next generation. I'd like to finish by sharing a couple of what I call keys to the kingdom that helped us build Regeneron into one of the most innovative and productive biotech companies in history. Our success didn't come easy. It took a very long time. We nearly ran out of money countless times. It took more than 20 years to get our first drug approved, and 25 years to become profitable. For a long time, people said we were doing it all wrong. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal pointed to us as the exact example of why scientists shouldn't be in charge of companies. People often ask what we were doing in those first 20 years when everyone thought we were failing. What we were doing was challenging how things had always been done. We wrote an entirely new playbook for how to build a biotech company, primarily by inventing new technologies that had never been thought of before and that many believed were impossible. And we used these game-changing technologies to start delivering new medicines at an unprecedented rate. It took us more than 20 years to really get started, but we've now delivered 15 new medicines across the globe for more than 30 diseases, including some of the world's leading medicines to fight blindness, asthma, cancers, and even the first treatment for Ebola. So that brings me to two of the biggest lessons we learned and I want to convey to you. First, challenge everything. Don't accept dogma. Don't just do things the way everyone else is doing them. Don't even accept everything that you've been taught. The first rule of science isn't to believe the science, it's to challenge the science and what everybody else is thinking. Second, and perhaps most important, be willing to risk failure. My favorite president, John F. Kennedy, once said, "Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly." Think about that. If you are doing something that's likely and easily going to work, it's probably not going to change the world. You change the world by daring to do something that most think is impossible. Every real breakthrough comes from pushing beyond the edge of what's known and being okay with stumbling along the way, often for years or even decades. Well, we dared to fail for decades, and we still do that every day at Regeneron. In case you don't know it, we still haven't cured Alzheimer's. We're still working on it. As I've often said, I'm going down fighting on this disease. But in case I don't succeed, this is what all this is for. It's about you, the next generation of scientists, doing more and better than us. Today, walking through the exhibit hall, some of you guys were practicing your presentations, I saw real hope. You are challenging dogma and assumptions, and you're not afraid to take on seemingly impossible problems. And you are young scientists from every corner of the world, realizing that we must all join forces and work together if we really are going to address the truly existential threats that endanger us all. So here's my message. You're not here to inherit the future. You're here to save it and to create it by challenging everything, by daring to fail. Don't hold back. Be bold. The world is counting on you to achieve greatly, and I am too. And I can't wait to see what all you will do next. Thank you very much.
Our thanks to George and Regeneron for their support of ISEF and tomorrow's scientific heroes. Now, I know that ISEF is just getting underway, but yesterday we sent a camera crew out to meet some of you and see what you guys have been up to these first days here in Columbus. Society for Science's Kevin Easterly has been roaming the halls of the convention center as our man on the street to bring you this report. Let's take a look.
Hello, everyone. Kevin here in Columbus, Ohio for Regeneron ISEF 2025. I'm here to take you behind the scenes to meet the finalists as they get ready for what is going to be an awesome week. So come on, follow me. Where are you from?
I'm from Puerto Rico.
Bangkok, Thailand.
Hello, I'm from South Korea.
From Jordan.
We're from Canada.
I'm from Japan.
I'm from Brazil.
Tunisia. I'm from Hong Kong.
Jordan. We are from Singapore. Taiwan.
Dublin, Ireland.
Doha, Qatar.
I'm from Switzerland.
Columbus, right here.
How long did it take you to get to Regeneron ISEF?
Like 7 hours to get here.
16 hours, yeah. It was a long flight, really long flight. It was very tiring.
It was around 5 hours to Toronto, and then we took 1 hour to Ohio.
So we took a flight from Tocantins to São Paulo, and from São Paulo to Atlanta, and to Atlanta to Columbus. So it was like a 20-hour flight.
30 plus hours. So it was 10 hours transit at LAX, like 15-hour flight, and then 5 more to Ohio.
What's one thing from your hometown that you think everyone here would find fascinating?
Of course, the culture and the food. Yeah, like for Tom Yam Goong in Thailand.
My graduating class is only 42 people.
Oh my gosh.
I have peacocks in my neighborhood. Yeah, we have rescued peacocks that just roam around during the day.
The fact that Tunisia has various nature sites, like in the north it has forests and the south it has deserts.
I would say the diversity of natural wildlife that we have just living with us. Iguanas on our street, cats, dogs, a little bit of everything.
A lot of us do like jigs.
outside of science, what's your favorite hobby?
I'm really into outdoor sports. I'm doing like mountain biking, hiking, trail running.
I play a lot of soccer, and I'm also on my school's robotics team.
I like coding.
Diving.
What's the best competition that you've done in your diving?
Junior World Championships in Rio de Janeiro.
The real deal.
So I like reading a lot. I love to read.
Biology or physics?
Biology. Physics.
Physics.
Biology.
Physics.
Space exploration or deep sea exploration?
Space exploration.
Deep sea exploration.
Space exploration.
Deep sea. Ocean.
Do you prefer science documentaries or science fiction movies?
Science fiction. Science fiction.
Documentaries.
Science documentary. Science fiction.
Science fiction movies.
Science were a color. What color would it be and why?
Well, I would say science would be my favorite color, which is purple. Very calming, but it's also kind of fascinating.
Blue actually represents the limitless, and the science is limitless. Like a sky, like a water, like an ocean.
Science has always been green. It's always like my school, my science folder is always green, so I'm gonna say green.
Probably like green, because green is found a lot in nature.
When you're doing your research, when you're thinking really hard, what is your go-to brain food?
Anything sweet, like extremely sweet, like candy.
Specifically matcha, since it's gut healthy and tastes good, and you actually feel like you're helping your body while keeping yourself awake.
Junk food.
Some crackers or biscuits or popcorn.
If you could be one non-human creature, what would you want to be and why?
An octopus. It's super cool. They have like 9 brains and can move their arms independently. So I think that's really cool.
So I'll probably be a fire-breathing dragon, because I feel like then I would not only solve the energy crisis, but also be really scary.
Definitely a koala. I love koalas. They're really cute and really good to hug.
It's been great meeting so many of you finalists, and there is much, much more to come at Regeneron ISEF this week. So get ready to share all your great work, make some new friends, and most importantly, have a whole lot of fun.
Thanks for the investigative reporting, Kevin. That was awesome. And you made some new friends. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be up all night thinking that octopus have 9 brains. So that's what I'll be thinking all night. I want to encourage all of you to engage with each other and the rest of the world too, so they can learn what ISEF is all about. So share your photos and your experiences online with hashtag Regeneron ISEF. Hashtag Regeneron ISEF. You might inspire a fellow classmate to follow in your footsteps to ISEF. You can also follow the Society on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Threads. And I have no doubt you'll have more to post as we welcome some extraordinary ISEF guests to the stage. We're excited to present this special discussion featuring incredible leaders from Columbus, Ohio. Please welcome back our moderator for this conversation, Maya Ajmera, along with our guest panel.
Well, I am thrilled to welcome 4 impressive executives. Frederick Bertley, President and CEO of COSI, the Center of Science and Industry, and the CEO of the National Veterans Memorial and Museum. Jenny Britton, founder of Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams and founder and CEO of Flora. Lou Von Thayer, President and CEO of Battelle. And we saved the best for last, Ted Carter, President of The Ohio State University. Thanks to all of you for being ISEF sponsors this week. We are very grateful to all of you. So let's get started. I'm going to start with you, Ted. You are a 1977 ISEF alum. How does it feel to be back? And what was your experience like?
Well, the experience is just like what you're going through here. It was 1977.
I was a young kid coming out of small town Rhode Island. First time I ever got on an airplane, and I got to go to Cleveland, Ohio for my science fair. And it was the beginning for me. I had a science fair project using water daphnia and fresh water, and I won a number of prizes in oceanography and biochemistry. And 2 weeks after the science fair, I got accepted to the U.S. Naval Academy, and I would start a 38-year career flying in fighter jets, becoming a nuclear engineer, operating and commanding nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, and then I would eventually get into higher education administration, and here I am as the 17th president of The Ohio State University, and it all started with ISEF, 1977.
Jenny, how has your background in art and scent influenced your approach to food science?
Oh my goodness. So yes, I studied art. I had a grandmother who was an art teacher and an artist, and back in my era, when you were in art, that meant you specifically weren't in science. Which is sad, really, because when I started making ice creams, I had this idea that we could make ice creams we could scent ice cream. In fact, that was how it all kind of began. I learned that butterfat, which is the fat that's in milk, has the perfect texture to absorb scent, and even when it's frozen, it still melts at body temperature really quickly, and not all fats are like that. This began my ice cream life, but also my curiosity about chemistry and food science and how to make it work. I feel like how to just figure it out. And I think artists do this a lot. We want to paint something or we want to make something like ice cream. We have to first understand viscosity, whether it's paint or ice cream, and so on. So for me, it was all about figuring out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to make for somebody, and then figuring out how to do it. I learned how to, what I would say, think like a molecule. So I use my imagination to literally go inside of the ice cream and think about milk proteins and butterfat and water and air and how they all kind of work together to achieve what I wanted them to achieve.
Lou, some members of our audience might not be familiar with Battelle. Can you give us a short overview of what Battelle does?
I'd love to, because most of you probably haven't heard of Battelle. We've been around for 96 years, and Battelle is actually a nonprofit, but we are the largest independent nonprofit R&D organization in the world. We have over 45,000 engineers and scientists around the country designing things and building things, and we did the fuel for the first nuclear submarine. We invented aluminum foil. We did the CD-ROM, the first copy machine. More recently, we were the first to actually put a chip in a paraplegic's head, wires down to his arm, and let him move his arm again by thinking and being able to read and decode the brain cells. That was 12 years ago. More contemporarily today, we're doing things like looking for ways to deliver cancer medicines to specific parts of the body with fewer side effects. And we just rolled out a company about a year ago that is the first company that actually has technology to destroy these PFAS, these forever chemicals you're hearing about that are getting into our air and drinking water, to not only capture them and incinerate them and put them into our air, but actually destroy them and turn them back into their prerequisite parts. So a very interesting company. I'm a kid in a candy shop there, and it's a lot of fun.
Frederick, under your leadership, COSI has been named the nation's #1 science museum. Why do you think non-formal STEM education is so important for our communities? And I just want to do a shout out that each one of you should have gotten an entry pass to COSI that you can go to anytime this week, and I would really encourage all of you to do it. But please, Frederick.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me here with this incredible panel. You know, your question is so important. Why do I think non-formal or informal STEM education is important? It's because of the 1,500 people in this room. Because all of your projects, or the lion's share of your projects, aren't things that you studied in a textbook or did on week 3 or month 5 in your grade 9, grade 10, grade 11 class. The questions you're answering are things that you think about in your everyday lives. How to solve problems around energy, diseases your loved ones have, etc. These are things that you learn outside of school. And that answers some of the biggest, most important questions that we're all, so gung-ho on trying to solve. And so having STEM education in a formal way is important. You got to go to school. But having the capacity to learn outside the school environment, where life really happens, is critical to solving some of the world's greatest challenges, and is evidenced by all of you great students right in here today.
Thank you. Let's give a big round. That's great. And very much needed for our communities. So I have a quick fire question for you. Would you prefer to discover a new species or a new element? Lou.
New element.
New element.
New element.
New species.
Okay, let's see what our finalists said. 56% said element, 44% said species. Very interesting. Okay. Lou, how does Battelle ensure its work stays aligned with the public good, especially as emerging technologies like AI can raise complex moral questions?
Well, this is a really important question, and for all of you, you can go back to the first knife or the first invention of fire. Every technological invention that's ever happened can do good and it can do evil. And we see both of those in the real world. So at Battelle, we actually have an independent safety committee of our researchers that actually researches and looks at all the work we do and has to approve that work as we do it to make sure we're being safe and doing the best thing for humanity. We also have a separate tech council that helps to divine how we're going to spend. The CEO doesn't decide how we spend all of our research dollars. We drive directions and into the markets where we see opportunities, but our technical people actually decide where to put that. So they're another layer, and then we have a board of directors as well. So we have lots of layers to make sure that we're always on the right side of this question, but it's a very difficult question. And as AI gets more and more advanced, this could be a harder one for society to deal with.
Ted, you were the longest-serving superintendent or head of the Naval Academy, and you now lead Ohio State University. What core leadership principles carry across both worlds, and where do they diverge?
Well, I'll talk about where they diverge first. The Naval Academy, founded in 1845, relatively small school. Produces officers for the Navy and the Marine Corps, 4,400 students, graduates a little over 1,000 students a year. So it's size, scale, and scope. But the mission of what they do in terms of preparing young people to educate them, to expand their mind, is no different than what we do at The Ohio State University. I mean, we're 67,000 students graduating about 18,000 a year. But here's the difference. Both schools are empowered to change the future. That's what's happening in this room. That's what you're bringing to this International Science and Engineering Fair. We at Ohio State are looking to do the same thing. Imagine a world where many of you are going to attend Ohio State, many of you that are here tonight, and before you graduate with your classmates, 18,000 by the year 2029, every single student, regardless of their academic discipline, will be fluent in artificial intelligence. That's where we're going at Ohio State. And that's what I learned at a place like the Naval Academy. We will change the future through higher education. In fact, as higher education is coming under attack in our nation right now, the very definition, the future of higher education, is going to go through a place like The Ohio State University.
All right, a fire rapid question. Frederick, astronomy or geology?
Astronomy.
Astronomy, definitely.
Astronomy.
Astronomy, always.
All right, let's see what our finalists said. 80% astronomy, 20% geology. Interesting. All right. Jenny, how do you think food science can contribute to a more sustainable future?
Well, let's see. 30% of our food supply is wasted each year. And my new company, Flora, we take watermelon rinds and apple cores and produce trimmings and turn them into edible fibers. This has been my kind of new focus in my life lately. And we spend $5 trillion on health almost each year. 90% of that is chronic illness and mental health. 90% of chronic illness gets back to dietary issues. So to me, it's all one and the same, and science will absolutely help us create a more sustainable future, but at the same time also a more beautiful future with well-being and health for everybody across the entire world.
Frederick, you've talked about the importance of science literacy. Why do you think science literacy is so critical?
You know, I challenge you all tomorrow to see if you can wake up in the morning and get through the entire day without specifically being impacted by science, technology, engineering, and math. It is literally impossible. If you think about our whole globe, wherever it is impossible to get throughout the day without depending on science and tech, whether medicines to heal our loved ones, whether we're communicating with these computers we have in our pockets, whether we're navigating through something called GPS, transportation, energy. It's all around us all the time. It powers the globe for all 8 billion people on this beautiful planet. And so while you may or may not in this room, all of you are probably going to get PhDs, but while the broader population may not necessarily get an undergrad or master's or PhD, we still need to have some literacy around this thing called science and its cousin technology that help us go. And so just like you don't necessarily need to be Maya Angelou or William Shakespeare, but you should still learn to read and write and be literate to communicate, we as a society should learn something about science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
This is a question for everyone. What scientific or technological advancements are you most excited over the next 10 years? And, I'll start with Ted.
So obviously, I talked a little bit about artificial intelligence. That would be probably the more obvious answer. But as somebody that has come from the nuclear engineering field, I would say energy. Our globe is still growing in population. We'll be over 10 billion people by the year 2050. And that necessity being the mother of invention, we're going to have to figure out energy sources and capabilities for the world, or else we will not survive.
Lou?
Yeah, again, AI is obviously an important thing, but I went into electrical engineering as a student because chemistry, you had to memorize everything, because we really didn't know how it worked. I think biology and chemistry are the areas that we're going to see the most advancements in the coming years, because we're finally getting computers that are big enough and sensors that are small enough that we're starting to understand the subtle interactions of what's happening to the subparticles. And with that, we're going to get new medicines, we're going to get new food supplies, we're going to get better ways to clean the environment. It's always been very difficult to get everybody to do the right thing socially. Technology is what always comes to save the world in the end.
Frederick?
We all depend on these devices, these amazing computers, and as fantastic as they are, they're still limited by speed, even though they're fast, and definitely storage space. And so for me, my answer is quantum computing, which will make things almost instantly fast and for sure have no issues with storage because there'll be infinite capacity to store all of the information. So quantum computing.
Okay. Jenny?
I'm interested in where biology and technology intersect, and specifically around the gut microbiome, and how we're going to learn so much more. We already know so much. We're going to learn so much more about how we can impact overall health and well-being through diet and what we're putting into our bodies, from dementia, Parkinson's. I see somebody excited about that. Gut health and pregnancy, gut-bone axis, gut-brain axis, all sorts of amazing things are going to come out of this research, and I'm really excited to be here for it.
Another fire rapid question. Podcast or playlist? Frederick?
I'm going to have a playlist of all bunch of podcasts.
What did you just say? Did you say
podcast or playlist? And you said what?
I said I'm going to have a playlist of a whole bunch of podcasts.
Okay, you have a playlist
That's
of
what I
a whole
thought you
bunch of
said, okay.
podcasts. That's pretty, okay. Jenny?
Yeah, I'm going podcast too.
Podcast?
Definitely podcast.
Podcast.
All right, let's see what they... Oh, 14%, 86%. This is a generational thing. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, our last question, and take your time on this, but this is the next generation. They are the brain trust of the future. And I think they're looking at all of us as, mentors and role models. So I would ask, what advice would you give to these finalists here today? And I am going to start with Frederick.
Well, clearly you all are here, so you've succeeded throughout your young lives, which is fantastic. But I want to double down on what the founder and CEO of Regeneron said on his message on stage here about a half hour ago. As Dean Kamen would also say, fail fast, fail often. Failure is okay as long as you learn from it, iterate, and move something forward. So don't be afraid. Again, you've been very successful at this point, but at some point in your lives and careers, you might, stumble upon failure. That's okay as long as you learn from it and keep it moving.
Lou.
Yeah, I would follow with that as well. We're all taught growing up that we should never fail, we should never do anything wrong. And you have to. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough, you're not being bold, and you're already the smartest of your generation that are here today. You've earned these spots. Be bold, don't be afraid to fail, and embrace it when you do and learn from it. Never have the same mistake twice, and you'll learn a lot as you get older. Keep learning.
Jenny.
Well, I mean, I've been here for an hour, and I'm seeing your stories, and I'm so unbelievably inspired by you guys, and I just see the future. I'm excited about what you're working on. I want to know more. I'm feeling so like just a spark of energy because of you, so thank you for that. My advice would be to follow your curiosity, to trust your curiosity. It's leading you somewhere. It's telling you something. And even when, especially when you have a new idea, people sometimes ignore it or dismiss it or kind of make you feel bad about it. But that's what happens with all new ideas. So keep going. When you have something that's sparking you, it's lighting you up, some kind of curious, making you curious, that's your body telling you to keep moving in that direction. And again, back to the points here, yeah, it's all about failure. Every one success is hundreds of failures. So keep following your curiosity and peeling back that onion. And then I just want to say one thing too, because I'm an entrepreneur, and there are entrepreneurs in this audience. You can use your brain to make something that create value for others. So some of you are maybe thinking about that already, and entrepreneurship, this is America. Anybody can start where they're at and build anything they can imagine. And I just want to be a cheerleader for entrepreneurship too.
And Ted, as a fellow ISEF alum, please, last word.
You've heard a lot of people say tonight, don't be afraid of failure, be bold, and I think there's a lot to be said about that. But the truth is, what the elements that go with that is, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much you have planned your life out, many of you may know where you're going to college, you know what career field you want to go into, it's never going to go exactly the way you plan. So don't be afraid when that one door closes right in your face, there's going to be a window that opens up. And that window is going to be where you should go. And don't be afraid to say yes when other people tell you you can't do it. I think that's the biggest thing that I saw in my career. I think back to when I was sitting in the seats that you're in tonight. I could have never imagined, in my wildest imaginations, going to Top Gun, meeting Tom Cruise when they were filming the original movie, flying in all the missions that I flew in, getting to be in charge of all kinds of amazing institutions, to include being the president of The Ohio State University. But here's ultimately my advice for you. You're the future that will build trust in our country, build trust in the world. Right now, the world and everybody here in the United States, we see trust eroding. And that trust can be found in the truth, and the truth is in science.
Yes.
So believe in yourselves, seek truth, and tell the truth.
Yeah.
so our time is coming to an end. Thank you to everyone on the panel for sponsoring ISEF. I am incredibly grateful for the support from each of your organizations to our ISEF community. And to celebrate our 75th anniversary, I am really excited that we will have an ice cream social following the opening ceremony.
Amazing.
Sponsored by Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams and Flora. Yay! Once again, thank you to each and every one of you. Can we give them a big round of applause, please? Thank you.
Thanks to Maya and our panel guests, Jenny Britton, Ted Carter, Lou Von Thayer, and Frederick Bertley. Weren't they awesome? They were really good. Really good. We are immensely grateful to you for sharing your time and insights. Now, can I get a show of hands? We'll bring the lights up a little bit. Can I get a show of hands of how many of you are here competing for the first time? Holy cow! Wow! I love it. Okay, now let's see how many of you have returned. How many returners? All right. I'm so glad all of you are here. Well, whether this is your first ISEF or not, we know you're going to have an unforgettable week here in Columbus. There are so many fantastic events and experiences for you to be a part of while you're here. To highlight a few, make sure to stop by Regeneron Way outside Hall B to learn more about Regeneron. You can hop in the 360 photo booth and share photos from the many cool Instagram moments. Right here tomorrow morning, you'll hear from an elite group of scientists and entrepreneurs at the Excellence in Science and Technology panel presented by Aramco, and the Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Impact panel presented by HP. Additionally, the Jane Street Estimathons are taking place tomorrow before and after the panels. These are a very fun combination of trivia, game theory, and mathematics. Really cool. As Maya mentioned, Wednesday night, it's the Student Mixer sponsored by The Ohio State University. That sounds like fun? Of course. That'll be a ton of fun. We'll have a DJ spinning the soundtrack for a night of dancing right here in Hall A. There'll be games and food in Battelle Ballroom and a chill zone in Union Station Ballroom. And if you haven't picked up something from the ISEF store, be sure to stop by in Hall B between now and Wednesday. Wow, you have an action-packed week ahead of you. You guys are going to be busy. Be sure to check out the ISEF app for all the details. Next, I want to turn our attention back to you. Now is the time for a long-honored tradition at ISEF, a chance for us to meet a few finalists from all the countries, regions, and territories from around the globe represented here this week. Our diverse and global Regeneron ISEF community, it's time for our international shout-out. ISEF welcomes America Samoa.
From the islands of American Samoa. Aloha to ISEF.
A round of applause for Australia.
G'day ISEF. We come from down under.
We're Team Australia and we can't wait to meet you all.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Put your hands together for Azerbaijan.
Greetings from Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan nas havalar. Good luck at ISEF. Yaşasın Azerbaijan.
Welcome, Brazil.
Brazil in the house.
Bulgaria. Come on up, folks. Come on, Brazil. Come on, Bulgaria. Put your hands together for Canada.
It's the water we can maple syrup.
Whoa, sorry guys.
Good luck with that.
Let's give a big shout out to China, the People's Republic of China.
Phoenix Rising Dragon Smite. Welcome to China.
Let's welcome Chinese Taipei.
Hi, where are you from? We're from Taiwan.
Welcome to the stage, the Czech Republic.
Hey everyone, we're from the Czech Republic.
We're so excited for ISEF.
Come on up, Denmark.
Hi, I'm from Denmark, and I'm so happy to be here in ISEF.
Welcome to the stage, Egypt.
I'm Dino Zelenov. Greetings from Egypt. I'm Maria, and I'm happy to be here.
Let's give a warm ISEF welcome to Estonia.
G'day.
We are Team Estonia.
And we can't wait to meet all of you.
Welcome, Germany.
Visions made in Germany. Hallo from Team Germany.
We are grateful to be here in Columbus and meet you all.
Let's shout out to Ghana.
Hello, we are from Ghana, the land of cocoa and wood. Yedamase.
Hello, Guam.
What is the talk today? Viva Guam!
Let's welcome to the stage Hong Kong, SAR, the People's Republic of China.
Greetings everyone, we are from Hong Kong and hope you all have fun at the fair. Jai.
Put your hands together for Hungary.
Hello from Hungary. Hiya, Major. Hiya, ISEF.
Let's welcome India.
Namaste. I'm Rajat. I'm Chandura.
And I'm Shaurya.
India is a land of innovation, industry,
And culture.
Jai Hind.
Let's give a big round of applause to Iraq.
Assalamu alaikum. Kurdistan.
We're proud to be here at ISEF.
Let's welcome Ireland.
Kate and Hamilton, really excited to represent Ireland and Cyprus at Regeneron ISEF 2025. Woo!
A big shout out to Israel.
Shalom from Israel. Go
ISEF.
A warm welcome to Italy.
Ciao dall'Italia.
We're thrilled to be here in Columbus.
See you in Italy. Viva l'Italia!
Hello, Japan. Welcome, Jordan.
Hello from Jordan.
A warm welcome to Kenya.
Finalist. Kenya.
Welcome to the stage, Kuwait.
We will make Kuwait proud and celebrate ISEF great.
Greetings to Macau, the SAR, People's Republic of China.
Macau, the one.
A big shout out to Malaysia.
Selamat datang.
Ni hao.
And hello from Malaysia.
Welcome, New Zealand.
children founder of ISEF.
We're from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and we're honored to be the
First Kiwi team. Whoa!
Put your hands together for Northern Ireland.
Good luck to everyone from Northern Ireland.
Greetings to Northern Mariana Islands.
We are from the Northern Mariana Islands.
Let's welcome Oman.
Salam alaikum, Gurman.
A round of applause for Pakistan.
Assalamualaikum from Pakistan. We're super excited for ISEF and looking to have some fun.
Welcome, Philippines.
We are the leaders of the future generations. Filipinas, mabuhay!
A big shout out to Poland. Hola, Puerto Rico!
Amazing talent. National Orgullo Boricua. We are Puerto Rico.
Welcome, Qatar!
Hey Isaac, we're in Qatar.
We're coming from the heart of Doha.
Doha to the world. When I get down.
A round of applause for the Republic of Moldova.
Greetings from a small country with a big heart. Greetings from Moldova.
Welcome, Romania.
Romania.
Put your hands together for Saudi Arabia. Welcome, Singapore.
Ni hao, welcome. We're from Singapore, the little red dot. Maja Singapore.
Welcome, Slovakia.
Nasta, aceetă ușuraj, tomboy dirocom. Monitilem, amor nimit, akomiotrocom.
Let's give a big ISEF welcome to South Africa.
Hello. South Border. We are from South Africa, the home of the Rugby World Cup champions.
Welcome, South Korea.
I'm from South Korea. Nice to meet you.
Hola, Spain.
From Spain.
Welcome to ISEF.
Welcome, Sri Lanka.
Greetings from Sri Lanka. Happy to be here, ISEF. Go ISEF.
Put your hands together for Sweden.
Sweden is very happy to be here at ISEF. Heja Sverige, kom igen!
And a warm ISEF welcome to Switzerland.
We're the Swiss delegation and we're really excited to be here.
Welcome, Thailand.
Saudi ISEF. พวกเรามาจากประเทศไทย We're from Thailand. Yay!
Put your hands together for Tunisia.
Aslında, bana bir biko. Tunisia is here.
Welcome, Turkey.
Merhaba, from Turkey. Hello everyone, welcome to ISEF. Hope you have a really good time. Good luck.
Hello, Ukraine.
Hi, Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
A warm ISEF welcome for the United Arab Emirates!
We are from the United Arab Emirates وبالعقول نتحرك.
Welcome the United States of America!
And thank you so much to Regeneron for sponsoring this event. USA! USA!
Let's welcome the U.S. Virgin Islands!
Yes, sir. Welcome, Yemen. We are from the U.S. Virgin Islands. We are strong!
Put your hands together for Venezuela!
Somos de Venezuela. Hello, Isaac.
A big shout out to Vietnam!
Xin chào.
We are from the lovely country Vietnam.
Where tradition gives life to innovation.
And let's bring the applause home with Zimbabwe!
And we're Team Zimbabwe!
There were a few finalists that couldn't arrive in time to make a video, so please let's hear it for Kazakhstan! And also Portugal! Here they are, representing all of you here at Regeneron ISEF 2025. That was awesome, wasn't it? I love that tradition, such a great tradition. It's amazing to see this global community of young scientists and innovators. Big thanks to all of the students who helped us with this year's shout out. Okay, now before we close our program, just a few last-minute important mentions and reminders. The final list of project infractions will be posted at registration outside of the exhibit halls and on the Society's website. Regeneron Way is open outside Hall B through Thursday. If you haven't already, you can purchase Regeneron ISEF gear at the retail store in Hall B through Wednesday. Tomorrow morning, all finalists should head to the Finalist Hall from 8:30 to 10 a.m. for an opportunity to meet with some exciting VIPs. Don't forget, tomorrow's required sessions here in Hall A starting at 10:30. The Excellence in Science and Technology panel, and the Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Impact panel, followed by a brief selfie session with several of those special guests right outside Hall A. And Wednesday night, it's the Student Mixer sponsored by The Ohio State University right here with Columbus's own DJ Cough Drop. Check the ISEF app for details on these and all the other great events that are happening this week. Stay current and be social. Share your ISEF experience with friends and family back home and keep posting with #Regeneron ISEF. Be sure to visit COSI while you're here in Columbus and make use of those complimentary tickets that you received at registration. COSI is a great place, I love it. And of course, on your way out tonight, pick up your sweet treat outside Union Station Ballroom. Thanks to Jenny and the team at Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams and Flora. And big thanks to tonight's speakers, Maya Ajmera, Dr. George Yankopoulos, as well as our special guests, Jenny Britton, Ted Carter, Lou Von Thayer, and Frederick Bertley. Our tremendous gratitude to Regeneron and our entire sponsor community for making this week and the whole ISEF experience possible for our finalists. And finally, a huge congratulations to each and one of you finalists here tonight. You are tomorrow's STEM visionaries, and we are excited by the endless possibility your future holds. Have a great week here at Regeneron ISEF, and I look forward to seeing you here again tomorrow morning. Good luck and good night, everyone.